Okay, here we have a 2012 Volkswagen Jetta TDI. This video will apply to the gas ones as well, but this is a TDI and this is a wagon. We're going to do the wiper mech, windshield wiper mech and motor, and the sedan is different than the wagon. And the sedan's a lot easier. You don't really need a video for the sedan because you just take out what you see needs to take out and then they come right out. But on this car, it's hard to get it out. And it gave me a lot of headaches, and I finally figured out a pretty easy way to do it. So I thought I would share and make it easy for you guys as well. So hold that. So let me get my gloves here. First thing we're going to do, I've already pulled the wipers off. The wipers go right here on these poles, and just pull these nuts off and they pop off. They're not very hard. You have to kind of, you can tap it with a hammer and raise it up on here and wiggle it and then they come off. They're not too bad. So I just put my nuts back on here so I don't lose them. And then you get this rubber seal off. This comes off. I've already had this all apart, so it's going to be easy and quick for me. So when you're doing it for the first time, you might want to pause the video and just kind of do each part. And this thing, there's nothing really fastening this thing on. No bolts or anything, but there's these. This kind of pulls out of there. Let's get that out. Pulls out of that corner. And there's a little clip on this piece that I just lost. This piece here goes up in the corner and it's got this little clip thing right here. And it goes in this little hole right there. That's how that goes, and this thing just stays up in there. And there's one on the other side too. And that side's got a wire or a hose connected to it, or both. And you don't have to take that side off really. You can just lay it out here like this. And then in here, you got this plug. And these Germans designed a plug, and you're supposed to be able to push down on this tab right here, and it's supposed to use a little teeter-totter thing and release the catch, but it doesn't. So you get a screwdriver, slide it in like that. Get the thing off the catch, then it unplugs. And I had a lot of trouble. It wasn't too bad getting it out, but I had to wedge it really hard getting it past this thing. So you got some T30s right here and here. There's a T30 right by each wiper post. And let me grab my T30. So they come out. And they're actually pretty tight, but they're not real bad. So those things come out. And getting it out, you can get it out from here. You just take it right out. And you have to really wedge that plastic housing past this. And you almost worry that you're going to crack the glass. And it's just really tight. So getting it back in, it just wouldn't go back in. I could not get it to push back past that. It's kind of like a one-way thing. You can pull it out, but you can't get it back around it to get back in. I finally found that I could take this metal piece off right here. This piece right there, that is held in by these two bolts, and it just comes out from underneath, and it's not too bad. And that gave me the room to get it back in, and it went back in fairly easy. But then I found out it's still kind of hard. Then I found out that you can, this whole piece right here, it's just two bolts. There's a nut right here, the stud. See that? And on that side, I just put my nut and bolt right on this little fuel dryer, whatever this thing is. It looks like a fuel dryer to me. It's a diesel. So there's a bolt right here. Take out just those two, and then this thing comes out. You got these little retainers to hold this wire in. You can kind of get that wire out of the way and just pull it up over the top of that post. You get it out of the way, and then this piece comes out. And it's got some felt. I just pulled the felt out with it. This comes right out. Then look at all this room you got, and you can get this wire back. This plastic thing here slides out of that slot if you need it to pull this farther back. And then this wiper mech just comes right out, and just tip it and pull it out. That was like real easy compared to what I did before. And this pin right here, when you're putting it back in, and show that hole right up in there. That rubber grommet, you have to put it down lower. That hole right there, that rubber grommet thing, that pin goes in there. And when you're putting it back in, you have to remember that, because it'll give you headaches and you'll think, what in the world's in the way? Why won't it go farther in? And then you get a flashlight and you can see where that pin goes and wiggle it till it goes in there. Then once that pin goes in there, then it'll bolt right in. So I wanted to share that because it's easy to get this thing out, and that just opens it right up and you can just do it. Now on my car, it turns out it wasn't this thing. It still doesn't work. So I'm hoping that somebody in the comments has one of these and has had this problem. All the fuses are good. It's not a fuse. And I'm hoping that this is a common problem on these and somebody else knows what it is and they can put in the comments what I should look for. But anyway, to put it back in, it's should we go ahead and put it back in on the video? Just get it down below that first. Get this plug thing out of the way. It seems like I put it, you dive this end in first. Let's see. Seems like it always comes out easier.
Oh, I switched the camera around.
Is it still video? Same video? Okay. There we are. There's this little tab right here, you have to get it around. And when this tab right here, I couldn't see this before I pulled this plate out. And that was, I couldn't tell what I was hitting and it wouldn't go. And with that plate out, you can just see all this stuff. Now this bolt won't line up right here, and that's because that pin has to go in that hole. So when you look down there, the pin goes in the hole, and then our bolts line up, and everything falls into place. And we get our T30 again. Put those back in. Plug that back in. And the windshield wiper motor that I took out of here, I'm sure it's good too. And it's possible they're both bad, but I just don't think they would both be bad. This one come out of the wrecking yard as a good part. I'm sure that it's something else. Anyway, then you just put this back in. You have to work it back down there between the stuff and get the felt in the right place. It's easy to tell where it went. Put that back out of the way again. Get these clips down, back down below the wire, below this here. Again, nut back on, the bolt back in, and then put this piece back on, and that's it. So, okay, so that's that. Thanks for watching.